Yes, sir. Welcome back to the Northeast iRacing League. This is your voice, Colin Chisholmore, alongside with Jared Galloway, mini stock driver, the number 06J, 2021 Brockville, Ontario Speedway track champion. We also have a newcomer tonight joining us, Ellis Scott, in the pit area at the Brockville, Ontario Speedway with a local driver, I do believe Matt Barber. So, going to be nice to have a third person here commentating alongside Jared and I tonight. Tonight we are at the Limaland Speedway, unless somebody starts correcting me on my pronunciation. Nonetheless, we are very, very happy to be back after a little bit of a 2-week hiatus, of course, with things going on at the Brockville, Ontario Speedway and Cornwall, Mohawk, respectively. So we finally have a chance that everybody's going to be able to jump in tonight. Real quickly, we are taking 18 to the A main, to my knowledge. Heat races, to my knowledge, we are going to be taking 4 from each heat race, or 3 to 4, depending on how many heat races there are. We'll get that information to you as soon as we know. From what I've been told from Race Control, we do have a pretty well full house tonight. So definitely going to be interesting to see these guys doing battle here tonight in the Northeast iRacing League once again. Just want to give a shout out quickly to Urashi Media as well for joining us in the Northeast iRacing League as a partner. Also want to give a few thanks to a few other people. Of course, David Smith for organizing everything. Jim Bordon as well for helping out. Of course, Jared Galway, myself. We got to thank ourselves, unfortunately. Ellis Scott as well for being in the background too. So we will be live here in a second with the stream beginning soon. Just waiting on a few housekeeping items from David and Race Control and iRacing itself to be able to properly sort everything out. Don't forget, please like, share, follow Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Discord, all the good stuff. We appreciate the support in any way possible. So thanks for all the fans as well. Yeah, this is definitely going to be a fun night for sure, David. Any newcomer notable names that you see returning? Definitely going to be interesting to see these paint schemes, of course. Hey, Jared, I know you always like to see the pretty modifieds running around.
I just love those colors, man. The brighter the car, the more I like it. Anything that'll help stand out on the track, I find, is definitely beneficial, not only to the fans, but anybody keeping score or race control or anything like that. So the brighter, the better.
Of course, always the brighter the better. So here we go for the start of our 16-minute practice session. Currently we have Josh Black pacing around Limaland Speedway with a 12.59. I am just trying to figure out some settings here. Network conditions. Just please bear with me here once we get everything sorted out.
I'm having a real bad lag on my end too.
Yes. Yep. I know there's some settings to play with that, so. I'll get that stream going here in a second. Here we go. Now that we're going to try something different. That is definitely a little bit better for sure. Thank you, David, for being able to sort that out for the commentary chat as we're still trying to wait on some things, but definitely looking like this Limaland Speedway. Like I said earlier, it's quite a shorter facility for these modifieds. It's really going to challenge these drivers tonight. Looking like Chad Lackey, I do believe he's the winner of our last little pickup race we had. Currently pacing the field, the number 7 of Josh Black, currently second, running at 12:59. Matt Barber, sitting in P3 right now. Chris Martin. We have Jarrett Herbison joining us in the Northeast iRacing League for the first time. I have a little personal experience with Jarrett, of course. Nice to see him joining us. John West, Shane Billings, Brody Plotz, the Hunter, of course, returning. That's quite a very nice looking ride in that number 63. Of course, going back to his grandfather's number, George Herbison, very, very well respected. I do believe he is a Brockville, Ontario Speedway Hall of Famer as well. So really nice to see Jared out there in that number 63. He seems to be working the high side quite well as he is working on going by that number 76 of Ryland Pool, I do believe that is. No, sorry, number 13 of Ryland Pool. So Ryland, of course, making his, I do believe, third Northeast iRacing League start here. So we want to welcome aboard to the commentary chat if she wants to. Ella, how are you doing tonight?
I'm good.
Definitely nice to have you sitting here, of course, in the commentary area, joining myself and Jared. Going to be a really eventful night. Like David said, looks like we already have quite a few cars.
Yeah, definitely. It looks like it's going to be a great night of racing. It's nice to be back after 2 weeks.
Yeah, that 2 weeks was definitely long. I know, like I said, we had some action at the Brockville, Ontario Speedway a couple Thursdays ago. The dirt car, super dirt car big blocks were there. Dirt car sportsman, the mini stocks were out and about, as well as the North Late Model Association was out there too. So it was definitely a good night nonetheless, but glad to be back. So, Matt Barber still sitting in P3 with Josh Black and Chad Lackey. Track definitely looks like being a shorter track that it is, for lack of a better term, burning up a little bit as we see John West and Zach Lynch working the top side there, trying to get around that 621. I do believe that is Matthew Hudson, so we'll see how that goes. Those guys. Just trying to figure out some more settings here. Trying to figure out some more settings here in Discord. I have to figure that out, so please bear with it.
Yeah, it's choppy, real choppy again.
Yeah, it is on my end. Yeah. Yeah, 100% agreed. Very well, maybe. Let me try jumping onto a different stream here. I know I've used the Twitch stream before, so. Even YouTube. Yeah, that's a little bit better.
Yeah, it's getting better, yep.
Yeah, it's still. Let me try something here. Let's go to YouTube. Yeah, I'm just trying to jump into the. that. I'm just gonna try and see now what the Discord differential is for it, just to see if that would work at all. What happened? Oh. Yeah, sorry. We'll get there. We will get there. 928 on Discord. Yeah, it's about a 20-second difference using the YouTube side of things. So I'll just try and see about the Discord. Why is that still on? I shut that off. That should improve my conditions now. Oh yeah, I'm definitely a lot better now.
Yeah, it's better on my end as well.
Yeah, perfect. So looking like we have Matthew Hudson currently following Zach Lynch around. Matthew looking to work around the bottom side there for sure. Zach Lynch looking to put his right rear up against that cushion, but jumps it a little bit, makes a little bit of contact with the wall, but that's what practice is for, as we currently have 8 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in this hot lap session. Your current top 5, as again, your top 3 pretty well unchanged. Chad Lackey, Josh Black, Matt Barber, Chris Martin sitting in P4, Jared Herbison currently running 5th. John West showing significant improvement in that 444 machine, currently up to P6 right now. Shane Billings, former winner here in the Northeast iRacing League, in that number 01 machine, currently sitting 7th. Brody Plotz making his return to the Northeast iRacing League as well, in that number 96 machine. I know he likes to run the top, so from what I'm seeing in this practice session, the top side may very well be the place you want to be tonight. Matthew Hudson currently running in P9, with Zach Lynch rounding out the top 10 of that number 95 machine. We also have a bunch of other drivers in this field. Blake Smith, Dylan Terry, P11 and 12 respectively. We have Josh Verne, Mike Denny, Merrick Sabre making a return also here tonight. Nice to see him back. Rylan Poole as well, as I mentioned earlier, back in the number 13 machine. Ken Scott sitting in P17 right now in that number 21. John Marshall, Logan Brown, Robbie Shaw, and Rylan Banks joining the session, but not posting a lap time yet. So Rylan will get out there as the number 95 and that number 21 of, I think that's Ken Scott, exchange contact there as Matt Barber gets collected in a little bit of an incident. Of course, Limaland being a short track, I know things do happen a little faster here. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out tonight, Jared.
Absolutely. I'm noticing some really tight lap times, especially in the top 5.
Yeah, pretty well bunch of cars sitting under a blanket here tonight. Our leader currently running a 12.572 all the way back to P17 is only about a half a second off at 13.014, so definitely going to be a tight and competitive field for these guys tonight, especially on these fixed setups.
That top side seems to be the preferred line in hot laps so far. I don't see too many drivers trying the bottom side thus far, but we'll see how the heat races go.
I know I've seen a couple drivers trying to make that little bit of a crossover move, coming in high and trying to exit low to see how things go, and it's looking like it may or may not work later today. It's hard to say what's going to happen. Either way, definitely going to be interesting here tonight to see if it's going to be a highline only track or if we're going to actually have quite a lot of passing. I know we've been working on track conditions and everything like that as we go with the Northeast iRacing League. Still, of course, in the development stages with these practice races, as Zach Lynch is currently pacing around that number 621 of Hudson right now. They're both running that top lane, though. Like you said, Jared, that is seeming like to be the place you want to be currently.
I've watched a couple of drivers trying to diamond the corner, but it looks like when they're coming back onto the straightaways, arse end of the car seems to want to step out. So I think the top line is definitely going to be the preferred line.
Yeah, as we have just under 5 minutes remaining in this practice session, the top 5 pretty well unchanged as the 621 of that 95 exchange. A little bit of contact. Drivers seem to be plowing into that little bit of an incident. Of course, Limaland being a small track, it's going to be hard to stay out of trouble here tonight. And I really think that's going to be the name of the game. Whoever can keep their nose clean, stay out of trouble, get out front, they'll be in good shape.
I think it might be really tough to pass tonight.
Tough to pass always means aggression turns up, short track tempers. It's going to be fun to watch. As we see the number 16 of Matt Barber joining the field as John West makes a little bit of contact with that number 27 car. I just got to refresh my memory on who is in that car. That would be Chris Martin. Looking on the scoreboard, of course. It's been 2 weeks since we've been in the NorthEast iRacing League, and we've only had just a handful of races so far, unofficially, practice races. As we're under 4 minutes now in this practice session. Also want to, of course, give a shout out to Brody Plotz and Ureshi Media for partnering up with the NorthEast iRacing League. I also know for when we do go points racing, we do have a nice shiny trophy for the champion, as well as plaques will be handed out to the second and third place drivers that finish in the points. Of course, those will be awarded in the springtime once everything gets back going in the regular season. As we're moving into the off season, so the NorthEast League is definitely going to start to pick up more. Like we heard earlier, we have a lot of drivers joining in here tonight. I see 22 have answered the call so far, and of course, qualifying hasn't even started yet. Like I said earlier, though, 3 minutes remaining in this practice session. We have 18 going to the A main. I think we're going to be doing 30 to 35 laps for that. Of course, we will have our heat races and a consolation, as 23 now have answered the call. 30 laps, of course, is what we're going to be taking. So, definitely going to be a fun, relatively quicker race, but short tracks always make for entertainment. As we're watching that number 18 of Blake Smith work that high side in behind that number 444 of John West, like I said earlier, Jared, John West has just shown significant improvement from where he was here at the start of when we started doing these unofficial practice races for this league. Really, really good to see him seeing him coming into fruition and watching him. As I can also say Brody Plotz learning how to run that high lane. He's getting really, really good at it, so he's going to be a contender tonight. That's definitely for sure. John West still leading around Blake Smith with just looking around. Oh, John West and Blake Smith make a little bit of contact here in this final just under 2 minutes in this hot lap session. As we ride along with the number 27 of Chris Martin. Like I said earlier, you can just definitely see that the high lane is preferred, Jared. Riding along with the driver, you can definitely see that loose dirt on that cushion has blown up, and I can only expect that cushion to move pretty much up against the wall here tonight.
Definitely. The top side of the track looks like it's a little bit rough, too, as we ride along on the inside of the car. I think the drivers will be up on the steering wheel all night tonight, trying to keep the car straight up on the top side of the corners.
Definitely going to be a challenge for these drivers for sure. As we move into the final minute of this hot lap session here, 24 drivers have now answered the call. I see Robbie Shaw's back in the field, Derek Demont's back, Derek Anderson, Ryland Banks rejoining us here tonight, Merrick Sabarant. It's going to be fun to watch, definitely.
Looking like Chad Lackey's time of 12.572 is still the time to beat. Josh Black sitting in second with a 12.590, and Matt Barber sitting with a 12.674 in third place.
Yeah, Chris Martin in that number 27 in P4. Jared Herbison, newcomer to the Northeast iRacing League. Really glad to see him here. Driver of actual 358 modified at the Brockville, Ontario Speedway and all the tracks in Eastern Ontario, Northern New York. I think he's actually gone down to Pennsylvania a few times. So definitely a very talented young man. And the Herbison family, he's third, maybe even fourth generation driver right now. So going to be really fun to see what Jarrett can do up with going against this talent, as practice has now come to an end. The session comes out, the red and black flags come out, practice is over. Chad Lackey leading this hot lap session, of course, with Josh Black, Matt Barber, Chris Martin, and Jared Herbison rounding out the top 5. As we jump into our qualifying session, the way this format works, we have 5 minutes for all the drivers to post their 2 fastest laps. To see what the starting order is for the heats, respectively, as we're watching Josh Verne go out for his qualifying attempt. Josh, I do believe he's a sprint car driver, actually, in Southern Ontario and Northern New York, to my knowledge. So, really entertaining to see drivers from all disciplines joining us here. I know we've got guys, of course, sprint cars, modified, sportsmen, mini stock. Zach Lynch jumping to the top of the board early, though. Beat out by John West. Matt Barber posting a fast time. Jared Herbison with a 15.556. Really nice to see Jared able to come out strong here as John Marshall, Matt Barber jumps back up into P2. So we're going to let things sort out for a minute here as these drivers take up their 2 best lap times within the 5-minute session. Just looking at a couple notables here so far. Jared Herbison, newcomer, currently ranked P1's pole with a 12.486. Matt Barber coming out strong with a 12.557. John Marshall, Dylan Terry, Josh Verne rounding out your top 5. Brody Plotz showing significant improvement as well as Blake Smith posts 12.503. Jared looking really, really nice.
Lap times seem to be increasing as the night goes on, Colin, so it'll be interesting to see how the heat races go.
Yeah, of course, the track obviously going through a refresh for the qualifying session, so these drivers are actually able to get a little more grip out of the cars, figure things out a little stronger, and get things going. But currently, with 3 minutes remaining, we've got Shane Billings, Merrick Sabrant, and Ryland Banks still to post a lap time. Chad Lackey jumping in the top of the board. That is no surprise. Of course, he's coming off his first Northeast iRacing League win. Refresh my memory on the track we ran last. I do believe it was USA, so it was really nice to see Chad finally get to victory lane. I know he was for lack of a better term, a bridesmaid a few times, but never really a bride, as Mark Sabarin showing strong here at a 12.464. Nice to see Merrick back in the Northeast iRacing League in that number 12 machine, or number 20 machine, as we're watching the 12 of Dylan Terry finish his qualifying attempt. One more driver to take time here, Ryland Banks. One notable as well. I know he said he was going to try and make it tonight, but he had other commitments, was Clayton Solovsky. I don't know if he's going to be able to jump in or not, but we wish Clay the best if he's unable to join within the 2-minute time frame, so... Nonetheless, we have Mark Sabaran, Chad Lackey, Jared Herbison, and Blake Smith. Matt Barber rounding out the top 5. What have you noticed so far here, Ella?
Like mentioned a few times, a lot of the drivers are running the top. It definitely looks like it's going to be the dominant lane tonight.
Yeah, for sure. I know I was watching a couple guys in the hot laps try and make some moves, as Jared said, almost trying to diamond the corner, make that little bit of a crossover coming off the turn, but the back end of the car just extremely unstable trying to do that. As we're going to be wrapping up qualifying here in about a minute and 20-second time. Ryland Banks has yet to post a lap time. Hopefully he's going to be able to jump on that real quick, and oh, fatal error, so that's not good. Ryland Banks having issues with his iRacing software, unfortunately, so looking like we're only going to have 22 drivers to battle it out for the 18 spots. It does definitely look like we are going to be having a consolation event, or B-Main. Those are always eventful and fun to watch, the B-Main, as the drivers battle it out for the final few transfer positions into the A. But as we only have 40 seconds left here in this qualifying session, it's looking like Merrick Sabaran, Chad Lackey, Jared Herbison, Blake Smith, and Matt Barber are going to be your top 5. You want to take us through the rest of the field here, Jared?
Absolutely. Sitting in 6th position, we have John Marshall. Sitting in 7th, we have Dylan Terry. Sitting in 8th, we have Shane Billings. 9th, we have Joshua Verne. 10th, we have Brody Plotz. 11th, we have Logan Brown. 12th, Derek Anderson. 13th, Chris Martin. 14th, John West. 15th, Rylan Poole. 16th, Josh Black. 17th, Lightning Zach Lynch. 18th, Matthew Hudson. 19th, Mark Denny. 20th, Ken Scott. 21st would be Robbie Shaw. 22nd, Derek DeMont. And 23rd, Ethan Cook with Ryland Bank sitting at the tail.
Not 100% sure if Ethan Cook was actually able to post a lap time there. I know he joined quite late within the 1 minute mark, but we're going to watch Heat 1 here start to take the grid. We're going to run you through the field as we can see them start. It's looking like row number 5 here. We have the 97 and the 72. Chris Martin on the inside there of row 4. With the 7 of, I do believe that is Josh Black there. The 12 of Dylan Terry, I do believe that is, rolling off from the pole. So we're going to get things shaken down. Drivers are going to take their first few parade laps in behind the iRacing pace truck. So the number 96 of Brody Plotz is sitting on the outside pole from... No, sorry. Kind of hard to keep track of things on this short track. It's definitely going to test our skills as commentators tonight, eh, Jared?
I can't wait to get the green flag dropped and hammer down.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be insane here tonight. As we had 25 drivers answer the call here tonight. Unfortunately, a couple of them may or may not have been able to post qualifying lap times, but the pace truck's looking to pull off here. Heat 1 is going to be green.
Green flag,
looking
green
like
flag.
That number 12 gets a really good jump. Blake Smith in behind Brody Plotz following his tire tracks as Brody jumps up to the top side, making a little bit of headway coming down off turn number 2. Brody looking down off turn number 2, down, just trying to nose out on the outside of that number 18 of Blake Smith, and he gets that run down the front straightaway. That number 12 of, or 20 of Merrick Sabaran taking an early lead though, with Blake Smith and Brody Plotz battling it out for P2 right now. Chris Martin and Josh Black also battling for P4 at the moment. So we'll keep an eye on that battle as things continue to shake out here, as Merrick Sabaran jumping out to an early lead, as Blake Smith and Brody Plotz are definitely making a little bit of contact coming off the corner. Oh, and Blake Smith up into the wall does that little bit of what Jared and I would call the McLindsey slide. Not sure if that's going to put us under yellow here, as we stay clean and green for the moment. Merrick Sabaran putting some distance between himself and Brody Plotz, with Chris Martin in close chase. Chris trying to work that bottom line here in heat number 1, with Josh Black not that far behind, about 5 or 6 car lengths, Jared.
Absolutely. It looks like Merrick Sabaran is kind of driving away with this one, with Brody Plotz sitting in 2nd and Chris Martin sitting in 3rd. The real battle seems to be at the back of the pack for 5th and 4th, as Blake Smith takes the spot away from Dylan Terry. And 7th, we have Mike Dan. And rounding out the field would be Derek DeMont.
Of course, keeping an eye on this battle for 2nd with Brody Plotz and Chris Martin. I know Brody likes that top side, and he's holding his own up there against Chris. Chris is, of course, a very well-disciplined driver here tonight, as those two are making a little bit of contact, but of course that's just short track racing. Rubbin is racing at this point, as the 27th throws a little bit of a slide job, and that'll finish our race. Merrick Sabaran coming away with heat number 1. Chris Martin, Brody Plotz, Josh Black, and Blake Smith rounding out your top 5. Dylan Terry, Mike Denny, and Derek DeMont, rounds out your field. So some drivers transferring into the A main, some will be taking it back to the Constellation/B main. As we are moving into heat number 2 here, of course, drivers are going to be starting to take the grid. This Limaland Speedway, of course, is really entertaining to watch. Things just happen so fast. I know Ella's jumping in quick, so it's definitely testing my commentary skills, but Ella, you seem to be doing a great job here so far tonight, I can say that.
Thank you.
If you can, would you like to take us through the field here?
Sure. We have Shane Billings, Logan Brown, Matt Barber, Ken Scott, Ethan Cook, Chad Lackey, Zach Lynch, and John West.
Of course, it's looking like that number 91 of Chad Lackey last race's winner, starting P1. We have the number 16 Matt Barber currently rolling off P2. A lot of heavy hitters in this heat is what we would call a stack, with Shane Billings and Logan Brown rolling off row number 2. John West and Lightning Lynch rolling off in row number 3. As just trying to see who's in that final row there. It's looking like Ethan Cook did post a lap time, or he made the show somehow in that number 24 machine. Answering the call, though, and we are green. Chad Lackey gets a really good jump. Shane Billings sticks his nose in underneath that number 16 Matt Barber, as Logan Brown and John West make a little bit of contact coming off turn number 4 here. Chad Lackey seems to be able to drive away with that early lead, but Shane Billings and Matt Barber are giving chase, definitely battling out for P number 2. Those guys seem to sort things out, as it's Lackey, Barber, Billings, and Brown running in single file pretty well along that bottom lane, surprisingly. With that number 95 of Zach Lynch dropping back here early. It's looking like a single lane track, though, right now, Jared.
Yeah, it's kind of looking like follow the leader for this heat race. The only one I see out of line at the moment is Zach Lynch trying that high side, but the track has definitely changed from hot laps as Zach Lynch makes a little contact coming off the corner. And we see the 444 making a little contact as well of John West. Yeah. Chad Lackey is still out front, but not far behind. Matt Barber nipping at his heels.
Yeah, Matt Barber's definitely hungry for another heat race win here in the NorthEast iRacing League. These drivers, they've been racing each other in and out all pretty much unofficial practice season long. These guys race each other hard, they race each other clean. As we're coming to the white flag for Chad Lackey, Matt Barber's going to try everything he can as he's looking up into that high side with Shane Billings following in his tire tracks. Chad able to hold his own down on the bottom as Matt gets a little bit of run, and checkers is out. Number 91 of Chad Lackey coming away with this heat race win, with Matt Barber coming away P2. P3, you're going to see Shane Billings with Logan Brown behind him, Ethan Cook and Ken Scott with Zach Lynch and John West rounding out your field. A little bit of follow the leader for that heat race, like you said, Jared. Definitely going to be interesting to see what the track does. It was extremely high lane dominant in hot laps, so we're going to see with all those cars out there in hot laps if it's going to almost slick off, burn off, for a better term, up to that high lane and push that cushion up toward that wall. As we're taking the grid.
Be interesting to see if that trend. Be interesting to see if that trend continues for the rest of the race, though, Colin. If diamonding the corners in the feature will stick, or if it will go back to a high side track. I'm not exactly sure what'll happen, but either way, it's going to be interesting.
Definitely interesting to see if that diamond move or that crossover is going to be able to pay off. But this heat race, we have Jared Herbising rolling off P1, newcomer to the NorthEast iRacing League, with John Marshall to his outside in row number 1. Josh Verne and the number 17 of Derek Anderson rolling off on row number 2. The 13 of Ryland Banks and the 621 of Matthew Hudson taking row number 3. And the final row here for this heat race, it's looking like we're going to have Robbie Shaw back there. I think that's it. So, looking like possibly only 3 heat races tonight as the pace track's getting ready to pull off. Jared Herbison and, that number 22 of John Marshall looking to bring us to green this time. Definitely going to be interesting to see what happens here, boys and girls. As the pace truck's getting ready to pull off as we're working down the back straightaway. Pace truck takes it off to the safe haven to the infield, and we are green. Herbison gets that really good jump on the inside like we've always seen here so far tonight for every heat race. Herbison jumps out to that high lane, though. Seems to get a little bit of a run, but Josh Verne and John Marshall seem to be battling out for P2 as we're 2 wide there for positions 2, 3, 4, and 5 right now. As Josh Verne looking to see what he can do on that bottom, Jared.
Yes, absolutely, and a great run for Jared Herbison jumping out to the lead. Excellent run so far. Good to see him up at the front, and John Marshall sitting in second, Josh Verne sitting in third, Derek Anderson sitting in 4th. Matt Hudson sitting in 5th. Ryland Poole sitting in 6th. And Robbie Shaw bringing up the rear.
As we're clicking off this halfway point, Herbison is still your leader, but John Marshall and Josh Verne are looking to change that as those guys seem to be battling 3 wide coming through turn number 3 and 4. Herbison's still able to hold his own, though, as we're clicking off lap number 5 onto lap number 6. Verne seems to slow a little bit, though. Maybe had a little bit of an issue running that bottom lane. Herbison seems to be running away with it with John Marshall and his tire tracks. That number 1 of Josh Verne now under attack by that 17 of Derek Anderson as we're clicking off lap number 6. Coming into lap number 7 here. John Marshall, though, not far behind from that number 63 of Herbison. We'll be able to see if he'll be able to do anything as we are now at the 2 to go mark. Herbison really looking strong there on that outside lane. I know he does a lot of iRacing himself. So definitely the seat time in iRacing paying off as we're riding along with that number 22 of John Marshall. He tries to get onto that bottom lane as we're on the white flag lap. Herbison up on the top. Those two are side by side coming down the back straightaway. See if John Marshall can do anything with that number 63 of Herbison. Slide job, crossover, and it's photo finish. It's going to look like Jared Herbison coming away with that heat race win with the number 22 of John Marshall coming a close second. That's 17 of Derek Anderson, number 1 of Josh Verne, Matthew Hudson, Ryland Poole, and Robbie Shaw rounding out your field here. That was a very
That was one of the best heat. That was one of the best heat races I've seen since I started doing this. That was awesome. I really enjoyed that one.
Yeah, like you were saying, that slide job crossover move definitely seemed to pay off for Jared Herbison as he was able to run that high lane. I know that 22 threw that little bit of a slider, but he was able to cross him back over. Nonetheless, we're going to move into heat number 4 here. We have the number 18 of Blake Smith. Oh, sorry, we're in the consolation event now. My apologies. It's looking like Blake Smith's going to roll away from the pole in this one. With that 96 machine, I do believe, to his outside. The 621 of Matthew Hudson. Yes, my apologies. Is trying to get things sorted out here with the stream. Rolling off in row number 2. We have to his outside. We're just going to wait for the camera to cycle back around here. My apologies. The number 17, number 12 car. As lights on the pace truck are out, we are going green for this consolation event here momentarily. Just trying to figure out with the math. 3 heat races, top 4 should transfer for 12 cars, so we should be taking top 4 from this meeting.
Green's out, green flag.
As we have taken green, Blake Smith leads us down in that number 18 machine. Of course, after doing a little bit of a McLindsay slide, as we like to call it, with Ethan Cook down the front straightaway wall. Ethan Cook working that outside lane on that number 18.
Yellow.
Keep an eye on Matthew Hudson also in this B main event, as the number 97 puts us under the caution flag here. By any chance, Ella, did you see what happened there?
Yeah, it just looks like the 44 and the car got into each other and went up a little bit and
caused that little bit of an issue as we're going to be rewinding here, watching the camera session here. It looks like the 21 of Ken Scott, the number 444 of John West had a little bit of contact with Ken sliding up into him, and of course the 97 of I do believe that's Mike Denny and Robbie Shaw getting involved in that as well, but we're going to work this caution flag here and get back to racing here shortly for this 10-lap event. I do believe, like I said earlier, top 4 are going to transfer into the A-main, so taking top 4 from each heat race, of course, respectively giving us 12 cars, another 4 gives us 18. No, 16, sorry. So, top 6, I do believe. My math was wrong. As it usually is, as we're coming back to green for this B-main event. As Blake Smith and Ethan Cook lead us down to the green again. Seems to get a little bit of single file going on down there on that bottom to see if those guys can make anything up. But Ethan Cook not giving anything up, trying to run that high side. Oh, it looks like our third place driver, Matthew Hudson, got into that little bit of an implement tire. See if he'll be able to rebound back up into a transfer position here in this B-main. As Blake Smith, Ethan Cook, and Ryland Poole showing strong as we are back under the caution flag here in this B-main. Just going to watch and see what happened. It looks like John West was involved in this one. Just drove it in just a little too hot. The number Somebody got in there, come down on him a little bit, cut him off. Under yellow flag. Of course, short track. Things are going to get tight. Hopefully, the tempers stay in order, though. We are currently on lap number 4 of 10, working under caution. Ethan Cook, Blake Smith, your early leaders. Ryland Poole working his way up into the field, or into the top 4 here, with, I do believe that is, once we get everything sorted out with timing and scoring. Once I do get into iRacing, we'll be able to see exactly everything that's going on as well. There will be no questions on what's going on. That will be happening very soon. As it's Blake Smith, Ethan Cook, Ryland Poole. Matthew Hudson back there as we're coming to green. That number 72 as well.
Green flag.
Derek Demont is starting to make his way up toward the front of the field here as we are back to green. Number 18, Blake Smith, gets that good jump going down the back straightaway into turn number 1 again. Coming into turn 3 and 4, a little bit of contact with Matthew Hudson and Ryland Poole for that possible final transfer position. We'll have to figure out and see exactly what happens there with those numbers. Zach Lynch keeping pace with this lead pack, though, so it's really nice to see Zach possibly able to get things going as the number 97 and Mike Denny gets around again. Mike just not having a good night here in the Northeast iRacing League. Involved in quite a few incidents here in this B-Main, but it's looking like Blake Smith and Ethan Cook battling it out for this B-Main win as we're clicking off lap number 7 of 10. Ryland Poole looking to make a little bit of headway on that outside on Ethan Cook. He's definitely showing some strength here from his last race as he moves down to the bottom now to try and work his way around that number 24 of Ethan Cook. Blake Smith, though, showing an early lead. Nobody really able to do anything with the leader here so far. As in that number 4 position, we currently have Dylan Terry, Matthew Hudson, Zach Lynch moving out P number 6 as he gets turned by that number 67 to Robbie Shaw. That'll put us under the caution flag here. We will be going into a green-white checkered event. Just going to watch and see exactly what happened here. It looks like Robbie just got in just a little bit too hot, hit the brakes, checked up, into the back of Zach, though, at that point. And unfortunately, that number 95 machine got sent around, Jared.
Yeah, that was quite an unfortunate incident for Zach. I don't think he was expecting that one, but it was. I think maybe somebody just drove it in a little too hard.
Yeah, of course. B-Main, short track. That's how it is, eh, Ella?
Yeah, for sure.
Have you noticed anything with how the track's playing out? Any lines these drivers are running? Anything like that?
Just looks like everyone's trying to run the same line.
Yeah, just turning out to be a little bit of follow the leader, but we'll see how that shapes up come future time. I know the track will be undergoing a little bit of a change at that point, as we're still working this caution flag. Blake Smith, Ethan Cook, Ryland Poole, Dylan Terry, and Matthew Hudson are your top 5. John West, Ken Scott, Derek Demont, Robbie Shaw, Mike Denny, Zach Lynch rounding out your field after that unfortunate event. As the pace truck pulls off, we are a single file restart for this green-white checker finish here in this B-Main. Blake Smith fires us off down in turn 1 with that number 24 of Ethan Cook. Really in close chase. Pretty much the closest Ethan's been here tonight as those drivers are battling it out as we're coming to the white flag. Don't count out Ryland Poole, though. He's looking to see if any of these two guys are going to make a mistake as Ethan takes it up to the high side with that number 18, Blake Smith. He's able to hold it pretty strong running that middle lane as we're working down into turn number 3 and 4. And it's going to be Blake Smith, Ethan Cook, Ryland Poole, the number 12, Dylan Terry, Matthew Hudson, John West, Ken Scott, Derek Demont, Robbie Shaw, Mike Denny, Zach Lynch, and Ryland Banks rounding out your field. I know Ryland didn't post a lap, so unfortunate to see for him. As David said, though, in the main chat, excellent racing so far. We've been pretty well clean and green, other than, of course, the B-Main. We're going to see cautions in that, though. Drivers trying to figure the way out, but the field's starting to take shape for the A-Main here. 30 laps is going to be the distance. It's looking like we're going to have John Marshall and Matt Barber rolling off of row number 1. Chris Martin, Jared Herbson taking up row number 2. Chad Lackey and Mark Sabaran rolling out of row 3. To the inside of row 4, we have Brody Plotz, from what I can see. And just going to wait for this grid to start rolling a little bit. We'll be able to go through the field. Shane Billings to his outside. Derek Anderson and Josh Black in behind them. Logan Brown, Josh Verne, Blake Smith, Ethan Cook transferring in through the B main. Rylan Poole, Dylan Terry, Matthew Hudson, and John West rounding out your field. Really glad to see John able to keep things going as we roll off for the start of our A main here. 30 laps of distance. Any predictions for this one, Jared?
Well, I would like to see Jared Herbison take the win on this one for sure. I mean, but Lackey has definitely had several good runs, so I think he might be a contender for sure. I mean, it's really anybody's race, but those would be my two I would see up towards the front.
Yeah, of course, we said in hot laps there, the lap times were within half a second for the top 18, so definitely going to be a very competitive field here tonight as John Marshall and Matt Barber are getting ready to take a stand to the green. Chris Martin and Jared Herbison in close chase, though, as we are now green for the NorthEast iRacing League at Limaland. It's looking like John Marshall takes out an early lead as Matt Barber follows chase. Chris Martin looks to the bottom as Jared Herbison trying to get into P number 3 as it's looking like that high lane's looking pretty strong here for this game. It is worth 3 wide for P3. Chad Lackey running that bottom lane with Chris Martin kind of the meat in the sandwich right now in between him and Jared Herbison. As Herbison running that top lane, trying to get up on that cushion to see if there's any momentum.
Yellow.
Strong behind Matt Barber as we are under caution. Looks like Rylan Poole into a little bit of trouble there. Not 100% sure what happened, but the field's going to get back doubled up as we are on lap 3 of 30 here. Of course, things happen really, really fast here, so this A main probably will not take quite a bit of time. I know with the excellent green flag racing, we start at 8 o'clock plus a 15-minute hot lap session. Oh, looking like quite a little fracas there at the back with Rylan Poole, John West getting upside down down the front straightaway. That's what put us under caution, unfortunately. But so far, it's just been John Marshall leading the way with Matt Barber, Jared Herbison, Chris Martin, and Chad Lackey rounding out your top 5. Like we said, Ella, it's looking like that top lane is going to be the place to be here tonight.
Yeah, it looks like that's where everyone's trying to get a run and make some passes.
I know I was watching Jared Herbison in that little bit of a 3-lap dash we had there, trying to get by Matt, and it was just looking like it was really hard to see if he could make a move on the bottom. Almost hesitant to go down there.
Yeah, not too many people trying that bottom.
I know Chad Lackey was working the bottom there, trying to move his way up, but unfortunately ending back up in that 3rd row as the pace truck pulls off, and we are green for restart number 1. Jared Herbison looking to the inside of that number 22, John Marshall. They seem to get back single file. Everything's all sorted out as we are back to green. It doesn't look like any black flags or anything will be issued for that one. Nonetheless, John Marshall, Matt Barber battling it out. Jared Herbison
Yellow.
Hay on the bottom is looking like Josh Verne into a little bit of trouble at the back of the field there, putting us under caution for the 2nd time on lap number 5. Yeah, looking back onto the replay here, it looks like the number 1 of Verne was running 3 wide there, just a little bit too hard, checked up, got around. Of course, not taking any other drivers with him. Rylan Poole, of course, in the same situation, tried to slow down, just got around a little bit. Nothing bad there at all. As it's looking like the number 22 is still your leader of, sorry, I've been saying his name all night, John Marshall. Matt Barber currently still running P2 as well with Jared Herbison, and Chris Martin showing his machine here up in the top 5 so far. As that number 20 of Merrick Sabaray making his way up through the field, Jared. Looking like Herbison's trying to drop into the bottom lane there, but we are back to green for our 2nd restart
Green's
here.
out. Green flag.
John Marshall gets a good jump here again with Matt Barber staying to his outside, so that was a really, really good restart. Herbison jumping to the outside early, though. Down to turn number 1, Merrick Sabaray. Oh, looking like a little bit of a pileup down on the back straightaway as we have a car upside down. That is more than likely going to put us under yellow. Not 100% sure. That was the number 17 car, Derek Anderson. We stay green for now as Matt Barber throws the slider on that number 22. Looking like a little more trouble coming off turn number 4, though, so far. as everybody seems to gather back up, and it's looking like the battle is for the lead right now. 3-car battle. You got Barber, Marshall, Herbison. You know these boys are all hungry for a win. I don't think they've won here in the Northeast iRacing League here so far, so it'd be nice to see any one of those 3 guys get a win, eh, Jared?
Absolutely. I mean, I love to watch Matt Barber race and Jared Herbison race in real life, so it's even more exciting to see them here, that's for sure. Adapting to a video game style racing, you know?
I wouldn't even say video game style. I'd say more so simulator with these iRacing guys. I know they put a lot of time, a lot of money into everything into their simulators, as Matt Barber starting to put a little bit of distance on that number 22 of Marshall and the 63 of Herbison. I've seen Herbison trying to make a little bit of a slide job move there on that number 22. Can't quite seem to get it done, though, going into the turns. Just loses that momentum with that 22 being able to run that high side. As Barber still your leader as we're clicking off lap number 12 here in the Northeast iRacing League, and we are back under caution for the 3rd time here tonight. So we had a nice little green flag run there, Ella. What do you think of how that battle for the lead was shaping up?
Definitely exciting, you know. It's looks like a really strong top 5, and it's anyone's race at this point.
Yeah, of course, short track, close field, close lap times, all that good stuff. So it's always going to be entertaining to see what happened as we're looking back on what brought out the caution flag here. Thanks to David Smith for being able to provide us all that information on what exactly happened. It looks like the number 13 of Ryland Poole got underneath Logan Brown a little bit, bounced off him, and another driver was just there, wrong place, wrong time. Unfortunately, bringing out the yellow flag for the 3rd time here tonight as we're working lap number 12. The field going to be getting ready to double up here soon. Pace truck will be looking for the infield. Drivers apologizing to each other, of course, after some issues in the B main. So things are going well between them as pace truck's pulling off, and we are back to green. Matt Barber gets a really good jump coming down off the restart. Jared Herbison looking to the bottom of that number 22 machine of John Marshall. Chad Lackey back up into the top 5, working on Merrick Sabarin for the top final place in the top 5. Jared, of course, apologizing for saying video game instead of simulator. Video games more like NASCAR Heat 5, but nonetheless, we're all good. Things are sorted out as the top 5 seem to be all running that high lane right now. As we're 3 wide for 6 right now. It's looking like Ethan Cook, who transferred out of that B main, showing some strength here in this feature, with Chris Martin and Matthew Hudson also showing some strength as well. Looking like Matt Barber still leading around with the 22 of John Marshall and Jared Herbison following nose to tail pretty well going into turn number 1. They seem to fan out a little bit working off turn number 3 and 4, but it's looking like the Chad Lackey throws that slider on that number 20, Merrick Saber, and Merrick able to cross him over. Jared Herbison falling back a little bit here as these drivers get the field sorted out. Those top 2 of Barber and Marshall seem to be checking out on the field a little bit as we're just past the halfway mark, working lap number 7.
Yellow flag is out.
Really, really good racing as Shane Billings around going to bring us out for our 4th caution here tonight. Not 100% sure what happened. Looks like the 444 John West was involved as well. Unfortunate to see happen, but just past the halfway point, like I said earlier, Matt Barber, John Marshall, Merrick Sabarin work his way up through the field. Of course, the always talented in the Northeast iRacing League, Chad Lackey, currently running P4. P5, newcomer Jared Herbison. Nice to see him doing well here in his first time. As looks like a little bit of a pile up there just seemed to happen. Just not a lot of real estate, and all guys going for the same piece.
The 444 of John West doesn't seem to be having a very good night. He's been involved in several incidences tonight. It's short track racing. Some people seem to struggle with them, and others seem to excel. It's its own beast, if you could put it that way.
Of course, short track racing is just a whole other discipline within itself. I know we watch it in the Northeast. I know we've got tracks like Cornwall that are the shorter facilities that produce really, really good racing. And like you said, Jared, some guys are just really good at it. Some guys aren't. Other guys excel at Brockville, which is a bit of a longer track. Then you got guys who are masters of Can-Am, but can't get Cornwall figured out. Either way, we're coming back to green for restart number 4.
Green flag, green flag.
Matt Barber gets a really good jump yet again. That number 20 of Mark Sabarin down to his inside, trying to throw that slider. Gets a little bit tight coming off turn number 2. This is worth 3 wide for the lead. Mark Sabarin throws that slider on Matt Barber. That number 22 of John Marshall ends up for the lead. Jared Herbson back into the mix, throwing his hat back in. It's pretty well slide job city here tonight. Crossovers to answer them. As the 63 of Jared Herbson throws that slider on Mark Sabarin, gets into the wall a little bit. Looking like Brody Blotz is also back into the mix here tonight, as we're pretty well 3 wide for third as of right now. Stream, unfortunately, a little bit choppy here. Just 1 second, I'm going to be able to fix that on my end. Either way, looking like John Marshall able to get a good lead here as Mark Sabarin, as we are back under the caution flag right now. For the 5th time here tonight, we're going to be able to figure out what exactly happened there. Looks like a car possibly on its side or on its lid down in turn number 1. Blake Smith involved in that as well, so we're going to see exactly what happened. Like you said, Jared, John West just not having a good night either with Blake Smith. It's kind of unfortunate to see. These guys put a lot of time, a lot of effort into what goes on here, and it's just what it is, unfortunately. Looks like Dylan Terry involved with that. Yeah, Blake Smith just caught the wall a little bit. That number 12, Dylan Terry, involved as well. So we'll see exactly what happened there.
I think the last few laps are going to be extremely interesting, Colin. That last restart, I mean, cars were everywhere. Middle, top, bottom.
Yeah, it's definitely
it's going to be real interesting in the podiums.
John Marshall, though, back out in the early lead, but Mark Sabarin, he was making some moves to try and get into where he is now, and I know he's one hungry man, going to be trying to get in that next position as we're single file green. For this restart. Looking like we're back to green, and it's going to be... Sorry, my stream is just really, really choppy right now. John Marshall and Mark Sabarin back there. Matt Barber gets around a little bit of contact. He seems to be falling back through the field. I'm going to fix this choppiness real quick. My apologies. Please stand by. Jared, if you could take this over for this caution flag, that'd be amazing.
As we see the 91 go around, looked like he just kind of lost control by himself. I don't know if somebody hit him there or not. I can't really tell, but as we stay on the 91... Yeah, it was another interesting restart.
Yeah, I didn't really catch what was happening there, as I was having issues on my end with the stream. That's totally my issue. I apologize for that, but that seems to be moving nicely now, as the 22 of John Marshall still leading the way here. Mark Sabarin and Matt Barber giving chase with Jared Herbson, and notable Brody Plotz currently running P5. Ethan Cook, the hard charger in this A-main here, with moving up into P number 6. Really nice to see Ethan jumping in. I'm not 100% sure what he does in the NorthEast Racing, but we'll find that out for you for the next event to be able to give you more information as cars fan out for this restart. We are back to green. The number 22 of John Marshall moves up to the top side extremely early. Mark Sabarin giving a little bit more of a chase down on the bottom there as back there as we're clicking off lap number 25 of 30. We are now within 5 laps to go here. We're the same main. John Marshall continues to lead the way.
I believe that Ethan Cook is Dan Cook's son, former mini stock driver back from Cornwall.
Yeah, so really nice to see another driver joining us here tonight. Jared Herbison currently running P3, though. Trying to work over that number 20, Mark Sabarin. And Brody Plotz, though, currently running in that top 5, and it's extremely impressive to see what's going on there. As we're back under the caution flag, it's looking like Ryland Poole involved in another issue again. Maybe caught that implement tire. I'm not 100% sure what happened. As we're going to replay this, play things back and get things going as we're inside the 5 to go mark right now. Looks like another short track deal from what I can see there. As we're working this caution flag, we will be restarting with just inside of 5 laps to go. It's going to definitely get interesting. I can definitely tell you that, Ella, watching how these cars are just scattering and fanning out on these restarts.
Yeah, for sure. You know, we were talking not that long ago and how much the top 5 has changed already. So it's been a very good race from everyone. And once again,
Nice.
it's still anyone's race.
Green, green,
As
green.
we are back to green, Jared Herbison looking to the inside of that number 20 of Merrick Sabaran, but John Marshall jumping up to that top side and able to pull away from those guys again. Merrick gets a little bit of contact with that number 22 of Marshall. Merrick Sabaran tries to throw the slide jump at that 22, throws that crossover back and answers that call side by side to the line that time. I'm pretty sure that was John Marshall that time. As Merrick Sabaran battling for the lead. Oh, Jared Herbison and Marshall make a little bit of contact. Matt Barber capitalizing on that as Herbison cars around in front of the field. And we are back under caution on lap number 28. It's Merrick Sabaran, Matt Barber, John Marshall, Derek Anderson, and Ethan Cook. Unfortunate to see that incident happen with Herbison. I know just not a lot of real estate on this track and not a lot of time to figure things out. I know that pretty well started coming off of turn number 2. A lot of cars all around. Those drivers running side by side. Herbison looks like he tried to dive to the bottom, lost a little bit of momentum there. And Merrick Sabaran got into that number 22 of Marshall, and Herbison unfortunately was just there, got collected in that incident. Short end of the stick there for Herbison, unfortunately.
He had such a good run going too.
Yeah, it's really, really disheartening to see that for sure. But our current top 3 right now will be a single file restart, by the way. We have Merrick Sabaran, John Marshall, Brody Plotz currently running in P3 with Matt Barber in P number 4 as the pace truck rolls down into the infield. And Merrick Sabaran's going to lead us back down to green. John Marshall in that 22 giving close chase, but Merrick got a really, really good start as we are going to be 3 laps in left distance. Sabaran able to run away early with this one. John Marshall looking to see if he can make up that distance in that short amount of time on Sabaran, but Sabaran seemed to be able to check out a little bit. It's worth 3 wide for third with Vern, Barber, and Plotz. Barber gets squeezed back there a little bit. It slides back into number P5 position, but it's all Merrick Sabaran right now as the checkers has fallen. Sorry, that may be white flag. My apologies. Merrick Sabaran, dear leader, he's going to come off turn number 4 for the final time. John Marshall looking to the inside, can't get it done. And it's going to be Merrick Sabaran, the winner here tonight, as Jared Herbison parks it down in turn number 1. Not sure what happened there. Matt Barber currently P3. Brody Plotz finishing P4 for his first top 5 finish here. Josh Vern, Derek Anderson, Ethan Cook, Josh Black, Shane Billings, and Chad Lackey rounding out your top 10. Merrick, John, Matt, Brody, Josh, Derek, Ethan, any of the drivers want to jump in, more than happy to. I would have no problem interviewing these guys. Top 5 to the commentators chat, please. As Merrick Sabaran is celebrating here for his first NorthEast iRacing League win. Congratulations to Merrick for sure. Also, congratulations to John Marshall in that number 22. And Ella, I know Matt's going to jump in here. We're going to have you interview him for his P3 position.
Oh my.
I have to do it. Just waiting to see what drivers do jump into this commentators chat post-race, of course. We want to thank a bunch of drivers, all the drivers, for a really relatively clean race here tonight for the small facility that Limaland Speedway is. Merrick Sabaran coming away as your winner with, as again, John Marshall, Matt Barber rounding out your top 3. Brody Plotz, his first ever top 5 in the NorthEast iRacing League, finishing P4. Josh Vern, sprint car driver, finishing 5th. As Ella, here's your chance. Have fun.
So it looks like we currently have Mark Sabaran and Matt Barber joining us. We will talk to Matt Barber to begin. Matt, how'd you feel about tonight's race?
It was hectic.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I don't know. lot of stuff happened in that race.
Yeah. What line did you find worked the best for you?
It was pretty much a top lockdown track. If you were
Yeah.
anywhere else, you just got freight trained by everybody else.
Yeah, we mentioned that a few times.
Yeah, I got stuck in like just underneath the high lane there, and it screwed me for a bit. I couldn't get back to the top, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it definitely looked like you were able to rebound really well there, Matt. Congratulations on your third place finish. As we have first time Northeast
Thank you.
iRacing League winner, Merrick Sabaran joining us here. Merrick, how are you tonight?
Doing really good there. Quick dub tonight. Feels real good.
Yeah, definitely. Congratulations on your win. I'm not 100% sure if this is the word for congratulations. I know you are French. Félicitations.
Yeah, thank you.
Nonetheless, I definitely saw you making some really strong moves there to start. So definitely entertaining to see. I know in the middle of the race you were throwing some moves. What were you thinking there? Just trying to get to the front?
Well, the top side was really dominant. The only way to make up moves there were slide jobs. So we tried either get slid or slide. Like you had to have the outside. There was no other lane than that.
Yeah, as they would say down in the state, slide or die. So, like I said, congratulations on your first Northeast iRacing League win. Hope to see you back, of course. I know this is probably your second or third time with us. So, congrats again. Hope you have a good night.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Either way, any final words, Jared, Ella?
No, it was a really good race. Really enjoyed the short track and the 3 wide and the close finish in the heat race. Was one of my top 3 favorite races so far.
Yeah, definitely was a barn burner to say the least, as they would say down in the States. I'm the voice, of course, Colin Chismore, driver of the 03C mini stock at the Brockville Cornwall Motor Speedways. Alongside Jared Galway, the number 06J mini stock driver. Kind of mini stock mafia here in the commentators area. Jared 2021 track champion. Newcomer Ella Scott also joining us, partner to Matt Barber. Just want to thank everybody for coming tonight, all the drivers for answering the call. I know we had 25 of them answer for the race tonight. Really, really clean racing, really, really fun, extremely hectic race. I want to thank David Smith as well for being able to organize this Northeast iRacing League. Apologize for all the issues with the streaming earlier and during the race. Those will be rectified by the next time. Either way, I'm the voice of the Northeast iRacing League. Thanks to Eurasha Media for partnering up with us. Just everybody involved. We're going to be signing off here tonight from Limaland Motorsport Park. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night, guys.
Good night.